All right, Craig, how are you today?
What's happening, partner? I'm feeling pretty good. The Giants guys are
Yep.
are making their way towards the draft. So I'm kind of excited about kind of getting this process going.
That's good because it's coming up rapidly. And before we start, I wanted to say something about your man, Michael Stewart. He posted a mock draft. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, he's the man when it comes to that stuff.
But I had a lot of objections to it.
Ooh, I love it.
I had a lot of objections to it. You know, I've been doing this a long time.
Yep.
I'm sure he has too, but we'll get to that first. But when it comes to predicting the draft, it's not an exact science. There's always a team out there. There's 32 converging philosophies, as we know. And there's always a team out there that's going to throw a wrench, in the mechanism.
Which is usually like Oakland or Tampa.
And they're the two teams that are drafting directly in front of the Giants.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it seems like that way for the last 6 years.
And the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets, exactly.
So, the Jets are looking to trade at number 3. I don't know who's looking to trade up and what they're going to get. You don't really have to trade up to number 3 to get a quarterback in this draft, I don't think. You could trade up to number 6 and get a quarterback. If I was the GM, I'd be holding a piece of paper up in the middle of the floor. I'm open for business.
Exactly.
Anybody want to trade up? Because I'll tell you what. If you look at the payouts, the pay structure of first-round picks in the first half of the first round and how it drops off after, pick 15.
Yeah.
I would just trade out of any top 15 pick I had unless I had a Hall of Famer staring me in the face. I would just trade out. You know who does that all the time? Philadelphia, New England.
Yep. The Chiefs.
Pittsburgh. Because they don't want to. They realize, why should I pay somebody? Baker Mayfield is going to make what? He has a $34 million contract being the first pick.
Yep.
And the last pick in the first round last year was Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
With Baltimore. $9 million over 5 years or 4 years in an option. That's a big drop-off.
Sure is.
And they both start.
Well, so far they do.
So far they do. But I'm just saying. I mean, if you're not in love with somebody, why are you going to pay all that money?
Yeah, you really, or in case of the Giants, you're so depleted from talent that you might be willing to forgo trading those picks to make sure you get a plug-and-play guy. Because what you have in common with those 5 teams that you named is they're all perennial winners.
And that's why. Because they'll take, instead of taking one A-level player, they'll get 6 B-level players.
Yeah.
Or 4 B-level players every year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we have that one good guy. We have the Odell Beckham, but we have nobody else.
Yeah, Barkley.
Yeah.
We just haven't had any luck with the – and I get it. It's a vicious cycle because, again, you can only go on track record. I'm kind of big on the history of the Giants, like what they're known to do. And, for a whole lot of years –
which leads me to another thing we'll talk about in a little while, about their drafting history. And even when George Young was the GM, he was losing it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they're just, notorious for blowing rounds 3 through 5. Notorious. I mean, you and I have discussed it. I've written pieces on NY Giants Rush about it. I mean, it's painful to look at. So the Giants happen to be in this spot where, okay, we give up these picks and we'll get a boatload of 3, 4, and 5s. Well, history says you usually drop the ball there. So, it's a catch-22 whether you're willing to roll that dice again. I'm like, next year, maybe you roll the dice a little bit. This year is, man, just have somebody get on the field and make a play.
I agree. Now you're just looking for people that can show up for work and do a job.
Yeah. Yeah, because, right now, just, again, the track record says, hey, we're going to drop the ball 3 through 5, but we're going to nail that 1 and 2 at least 50% of the time. And you know what? You don't get paid for that. You know what I mean? The first round guys, the second round guys, they're all, throw a dart at them. They'll play at some position at some point. 3 through 5 is where you get paid.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And I think he did a good job last year, except for Kyle Lauletta. It looks like Kyle Lauletta is not going to amount to anything but a backup quarterback in this league.
Well,
it's too early to say that, but I'm saying it.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say I agree with you, but no one's really seen him play. But I tend to agree. He might just, I don't know. He looked a little shell shocked the last time he actually got some concrete playing time. So yeah, the jury's still out, but it's kind of leaning towards he'll look good with a clipboard.
Yes. And that's why they're looking for another quarterback. He's not the answer. I mean, I think they brought him in, they drafted him, and figured that he likes to fill up the quarterback room. That's why they have this Alex Tanney in there. He's a 31-year-old guy who's only played like 2 games in his career. And Lauletta, they need somebody. But I really don't understand why they drafted him if he's not going to be or be put in the mix for the job.
I know.
And we don't know that. It just seems that way to me.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, geez, you could have kept David Carr for all I cared. I mean,
right. The guys don't play anyway.
Exactly.
Eli plays every snap.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. That's going to change too soon.
Well, we'll find out. I have a funny feeling that this may not be his last year.
Yeah, that might be a topic for another day.
Because if he has any kind of success this year, because the offensive line, all they need is a right tackle, and their offensive line is complete, and he'll get the protection and the running game that he needs. He'll have all the support system in place. They're going to draft some wide receivers, too, in this draft. There's a ton of them. I wrote an article on USA Today. There's 6 or 7 guys over 6'4" that can all play, that the Giants could use, because they have all short receivers.
Yeah.
Tate is 5'10", Shepard's 5'10". Who's 5'11"? Coleman's 5'11".
Latimer's a little tall.
Latimer's 6'2", and Fowler is 6'1". But these guys are big guys. I mean, 6'5". Miles Boykin from Notre Dame, and a few other guys. Well, I'll go through it if you want, but it's a pretty good article on USA Today. You guys should read it. It's really good.
Yeah, I'll make sure I'll check it out, because I wasn't even putting receivers on my radar, but
they've got to take at least 2.
You think they're going to draft 2 wide receivers?
Well, if they use all 12 picks, which they probably won't. Let's say they use 10 picks. Yeah. I think they take at least 2, because they're out there.
All right, as long as they make the team, because most of these guys, I can also give you a long list of guys out there that don't make the team either.
Yeah.
I know. There's the Ramses Barton and the Travis Beckham of the world, and then throw in the a couple of these other guys. They never.
We don't want to go back. We don't want to go back to Thomas Lewis and.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. You mean Roger Lewis?
No. Oh, no. Roger Lewis was one, but he wasn't drafted. Thomas Lewis, I think, was a 94 first-round pick.
I remember. Yes.
Out of Indiana. Of course, they love drafting football players out of basketball schools. You know that.
Yep. Yeah, I remember the pack they did was Odessa Turner, Mark Ingram, and what was the third one? Stephen Baker, I think, maybe.
Yeah, well, those guys were in the late '80s, but they were all useful.
Yeah, they haven't.
Baker caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and Ingram had a big play in the Super Bowl, so it worked out as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that was the last time we drafted a bunch of receivers that worked. So, we draft them in packs. They usually don't make it.
Well, yeah, Ike Hilliard, he wasn't too bad.
No, well, yeah, Ike was a first rounder.
Yeah, he was a first round pick.
Yeah, but a couple of years ago, they drafted McKeely Thompson, and
no, Michael, he was a defensive.
Not McKeely Thompson. Same draft. Wait, hang on. Davis, that was it. Out of Connecticut.
Oh, Jeremy Davis. He's still in the league somewhere.
Is he?
He's like a special. I think he was with San Diego. That's San Diego. L.A. Chargers. I think that was the last team I saw him with.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't mean McKeely Thompson. It was that same draft.
Yeah, he's like a special teams guy. He's not even a wide receiver. He's like a David Tyree, but not as good.
Got it. Yeah, well, I mean, again, they're going to draft some receivers. I just hope they make the team because there's no sense of wasting more picks like we did on Lalella.
Right. So I think that what he'll do is he'll look to move up and back if he can in certain spots. I don't think he'll move back. I think he'll look to package some picks and move up, or maybe package some picks and get picks for next year. You know, you need some more ammunition for next year. I know they'll get a compensatory pick for Collins. I don't think they're going to sign anybody else. And you have to sign true free agents. They can't be guys that were released from other teams. They have to be guys that were actually reached free agency to be in the equation. So, you know, Tate was a free agent, and Golden was a free agent. But the Giants lost Collins, so I think they'll get something. I don't know what they'll get. I have to see who falls into the, you know, the gain loss columns there for them to see what happens. It's a little way too early for that, naturally.
And
There's
they don't
still
have a lot
time.
of money left. There's not a lot of cap left.
No. I think the one guy they were looking to sign was that guy Mike Remmers from the Vikings, the offensive lineman.
Yep.
But he was cut by the Vikings, so he won't count towards that equation. And he was failed physical because he had some kind of back issue. And he failed the physical, and they released him. So that was a way out of the contract, I guess, of paying him this year. But he played guard last year. He didn't do well. I guess he was hurt, too. He's more of a tackle, and that's where the Giants would play him. So we may have to wait a while to put him on the roster. Maybe after the draft. Couldn't hurt.
No, I guess it couldn't hurt.
You know, if the guy's healthy, it couldn't hurt. So
Well,
I want to go through what I want to do with you today. I want to go through the roster because there's this old adage about you go into the draft already with the ability to field a team. You already have the ability to field a team before you go into the draft. And whatever you do in the draft is to supplement what you already have on paper.
Is this the Giants playing in a flag football league, or is this Giants playing in the NFL?
I know you're going to have some comments about some of the guys, naturally, that I'm going to throw out at you. And I want to start with offense.
Okay,
start with
bring
the
it.
offensive. Just starting lineup, maybe a couple of primary backups. Quarterback, they got Eli.
Yep.
Guy hasn't missed a game due to injury since he's been here. You can talk whatever you want, say whatever you want about Eli. He's going to be there day one. He's going to be there game 17.
Yep, agreed.
Right? And, you know, that meme that was on the internet of him underthrowing Beckham in the San Francisco game on Monday night, that becomes his, you know, his albatross now. He's got to wear that. The worst throw of the year, and of course they're passing it around on social media, Eli's washed up. They didn't show you all the great throws he made last year.
No, they never do. They never show him stick Latimer in the corner, right?
Yep.
On that great throw he made, or you know, that great crossing route he hit Shepard on, or the, you know, just you know, the one that Beckham dropped rolling into the end zone. Like just it's always, you know,
it's the one thing they just
agenda driven.
Cherry pick it, and you know that's why Eli's washed up. You know, how many times did he overthrow somebody? I mean, come on. It's not an arm strength issue.
No.
That's what they try to make it out to be. Okay, so he's there. We know he's there. Running back, we know who's there. Saquon Barkley. Okay, fullback, they have Eli Penny coming back. I thought he wasn't a bad pickup, and they re-signed him this year.
Yeah, I'm indifferent.
Okay, yeah, the fullbacks, you know, they're no longer. If you're running your offense in a 21st century, you know, you really don't have a fullback.
Yep.
But, you know, we'll take him for what he's worth. All right, so wide receiver, you have Tate in there now and Shepard. Okay, I don't know if they're both playing on the outside. One of them will be in the slot. I have no idea.
from what I'm reading, again, this is just what you read. It could be all a bunch of BS. That Tate is going to get more reps on the outside than he does the inside.
Right. He can play both. I've seen him do both. The guy's he's just a prolific receiver. He's going to get 90 catches.
He better.
Well, he's gonna.
If he doesn't, we're in even bigger trouble than we thought.
Well, you know what? Now that I said that, I'm thinking about it. He may not get 90 catches. Okay, let's say he gets 75.
Ooh.
I'll take that.
Out of your number one?
Well, who says he's the number one? You got Shepard.
Nah, Tate's going to be the number one. Shepard will always be the two. Because Shepard is not. He doesn't. Tate has a better chance of beating you deep than Shepard does.
Yeah, neither one. I think Shepard is going to end up being in the slot, and they're either going to have a rookie in the mix. They're going to throw Coleman in the mix. Benny Fowler be in the mix. Of course, Latimer. Hopefully, he could stay healthy. He'll be an outside guy. He's a pretty good player. I mean, I'm happy with him.
Who's this?
Latimer.
Oh yeah, no, I like Latimer too. I mean, he's a little underrated, But I think for this conversation, Tate's the one, Shepard's the two, Latimer's the three.
Okay, that's not bad. I could live with that, provided they don't trade Shepard.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a bad day if that happens. I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah, I think they might be waiting.
Keep going down your receiver roster because the rest of them are garbage. You can get rid of all of them, including Coleman. If you think he's a receiver, let him catch kicks. I'm completely content with that.
He's on the team, and he's going to run back kickoffs.
Good, because otherwise, if he was here just to be a receiver, to me, he's worthless.
They needed somebody to stretch the field, and he's great. Just go long. Don't throw it to him. Just send him out there.
Yeah, he's not going to catch it.
Just stretch the field.
All right, I'm fine with Coleman for that purpose only.
Have him run 50 yards up, downfield, and we'll fake it to you.
Yep, I'm fine with that. The rest of them, again, I'm indifferent. Fowler and
right. Who they re-signed? I mean, he was a free agent. They re-signed him. I think was he restricted? I don't know. They just gave him a contract.
Exactly. All right.
And they cut Quadri Henderson, so he's no longer here.
Yeah, no value.
Jawill Davis, they still have.
No value.
Right. Alonzo Russell.
Special teams.
Yeah. Not bad. I mean, they do have, 6, 7 guys, but I think they'll bring in some young talent there. I think they'll sneak somebody in on day 3. There's a lot of sleepers in this draft.
That's a philosophy of going young versus old. Like I thought they should have brought into camp. Like it can't hurt you to bring a guy into camp, right?
No, of course not.
Regardless if he's shot or not, I would have gave Jordy Nelson an invite to camp.
The problem with Nelson is I don't think he can run anymore.
And that may be the case, but no one sees him playing ball on the West Coast. So, I'd be curious. You're right. But and he doesn't drop a lot of balls.
No, he's great. He's a great player when he's right, but he hasn't been right.
No, he had 2 back-to-back bad years. But I'm just saying, I'd bring him in. I mean, again, it can't.
Well, he'll be in somebody's camp. I mean,
He retired yesterday.
Nah, he'll get a call back.
Yeah. Because my thought was if he was your 4th receiver, I don't really think that's a bad deal. Let him fight it out with Coleman.
We'll see. I mean, he's not the only fish in the sea. There's other options.
No, he just jumped out at me because he was in the press.
Yeah, I know. He said he retired. Guys do that all the time. They retire when they figure that that's it. I'm tired of looking for a job, and then the phone rings.
Sure. Yeah. Look at Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, the phone rings, and he's back in business. Yeah, happens all the time. Jason Witten waited a whole year. Now he's back. Why is he back?
I don't know. I can't figure it out, guys. I don't even know what to make of that.
Yeah, I mean, once you're out of football for a year at that age, it's not a good idea to come back.
No, not at all. Especially making good money in the booth. I think he just let his body heal for a year, I guess.
Or unless he thinks the Cowboys are going to go somewhere.
Yeah, not with Dak Prescott. But anyway,
I don't think so.
that's another story.
All right, let's get back to what we were doing.
Yep, go ahead. You're getting out of the receivers.
Tight ends. Ingram, Ellison, Simonson. I like all 3.
I like all three. I don't love all three, but I like all three.
Right. I think Ellison, when they use him in the passing game,
Underrated.
he's kind of like a Jake Ballard almost.
Yeah.
Nobody's expecting him to get the ball, and he's always open.
And he can run after the catch.
Yes, he showed that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just very underrated. In fact, I think he's fantastic in that seam route and in that flat route when the rare occasion that Eli rolls out and he hits Ellison in the flat. It's perfect.
He's a tough guy too.
Yeah, I like him. I like him a lot.
And Simonson's a tough guy. Good blocker.
Great blocker. He basically won the Chicago Bear game by himself by beating down Khalil Mack.
Yeah, he's worth keeping. See, that's a football player. You want football players. The game's football, like Parcells said. It's not track and field, it's football.
Yep.
That's what we want. And, of course, Ingram, one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
I know you don't like him. But I'll tell you right now, when this guy gets the ball in his hands, he could be electric.
Yeah. What was the key word in that sentence?
He's got to keep it in his hands. We know that. He's got to catch it, secure it, and then run with it.
I don't want you to think that I don't like him. I just, it's a big picture thing. I look at him like, okay, he's an average or below average blocker. So when he comes off the field, it's a run and play. When he comes on the field, it's a pass and play.
Which is why they should put him in the slot. Why even bother? Why even bother lining him up as a tight end?
Well, that would kind of go to the fact that they could draft Hawkinson with 17 and your three receivers.
I'm not going to do that.
Think about it.
I've already thought about that.
Yeah, I love it.
And there's another guy, Jay Sternberger from Texas A&M.
Yeah, he's gaining a lot of momentum too. I only said it because can you imagine your receiving core was Tate, Shepard, Hawkinson, and Ingram? Now that would be a dynamic wide receiver core.
Yeah, but Hawkinson's got to play inline tight end. He can't. Somebody's got to play tight end.
They're raving how well. That's what I'm saying. I'm using him as a tight end.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying they're already saying that he's fantastic blocker. Hawkinson.
Yeah.
And I like Ingram. I just, he's hot and cold. He drops one when you need him to, and then the next play he rips off, 18, 19 yards, So he just needs to be consistent. And then he tweeted, sometimes I think these guys need a PR person in their corner.
Yeah.
He tweets out on, I don't know what a day it was, Monday, Tuesday. He tweets out, you know what? I'm going to take care of my body different this year. Well, hey, dude, you're a pro football player. Like, you should be always taking care of your body. That's the product. That's what gets you paid. So are you blaming your drops on your crappy diet and lack of sleep? I mean, come on.
That's ludicrous.
And then, by the way, even if it's true, don't be dumb enough to tweet it.
I know.
Like you just basically said, I've been basically dogging it for 2 years, eating crap and staying up all night. That's why I stink. So, I'm going to sleep more and eat better this year. So he just rubs me wrong.
Yeah, that's
like you said, football players. You want football players?
Yeah.
He don't remind me of a football player. He reminds me of a guy who wants to be in a fashion magazine.
Yeah, okay. We'll see. He's going to have his opportunity this year.
Yep.
I mean, after Beckham went down, he was like their guy last year, and he did pretty well. So we'll see.
No doubt. And I hope he proves me wrong because that would, I would be delighted to see the guy.
That'd be good for the Giants. Yeah.
Yeah, 80 catches and 1,000 yards. Because if he's going to get me 500 yards, I have no use for him.
No, of course, and he's going to miss games. You have no use for him either.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's my thing. Right now he's consistent. It's the same amount of yards every year, the same amount of catches every year. Like, come on, dude, you're a first-round draft pick. Make it happen.
Well, this is his opportunity coming up. So I'm betting that he'll do it. And, it all depends on how they use him.
If he doesn't do it, he'll be put on the first contract and out program again.
Yes, they will not extend him. You'll know right away if they don't pick up his 5th-year extension.
Yep.
You have to do that before the 4th season. Before the 4th season? Yeah. Yeah, you have to do that before year 4. So in between years 3 and 4, you do that. So that'll be next year for him.
All right, so tight ends were good.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about center.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
They have
I like both of them.
Jalapeno is penciled in as the starter with Pulley, who they just signed to a pretty decent contract.
Yeah, I can't see how Jalapeno gets the penciled in job when he only played 3 games and
He's coming off the injury. Yeah.
Coming off the injury, it should be Pulley's job to lose.
I agree. I don't know why they have that, but it could be the other way around. It's just the way this depth chart lines up. Right now, I think it's a competition.
Yes, agreed.
Because they talked Jalapeno, Sherman talked how much he loved him, and so did Gettleman, but yet Pulley got the money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He did. Yes, he did.
He's the one that got the $9 million for 3 years, and Jalapeno got a tender. Right. Well, they're at different stages in their careers anyway. But okay, so I like the left side with Solder and Hernandez. I think they're pretty good there.
Yep, Solder came a long way after mid-season. He figured it out.
And same thing with Hernandez. He was unsteady there on occasion.
Yep.
And he turned out to be a pretty good player.
He'll be a Pro Bowler, no doubt.
The addition of Zeitler at right guard is huge.
Oh, well, yeah. Young, nasty, no doubt.
Jamon Brown, they could have re-signed him, but you saw the kind of contract he got from Atlanta. They weren't matching that.
No, he got paid.
And Zeitler is, I think, a little bit of an upgrade.
It is an upgrade,
yeah.
Without a doubt. But I really did like Brown, what he brought to the table. The team was instantly better when they signed him. Barkley, all of a sudden, instead of bouncing everything outside, had a hole inside.
Right. Getting more yards up the middle, sure.
Yeah, but Zeitler should pick right up where Brown left off, and then some. Because if I'm not mistaken, he can pull. So if you can get him pull and get him on the outside, with Barkley behind you, that would be a great addition.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they work it. I thought it was a great pickup for the Giants. I mean, he's never been to the Pro Bowl, which is kind of a mystery to me because he's rated so high.
Yes.
I guess he just doesn't have the love of the fans. And, he's also in Cleveland and Cincinnati before that.
Yeah, he's played in 2 very small markets.
So he really didn't get a lot of attention, but maybe he will this time. Right tackle is the Achilles heel of the line. Wheeler is the main guy there now, and he's played some decent games, but you just got to get a better guy there. They need to do that.
He's limited in his ability. Some things, he can hold his own, but any type of dynamic pass rusher just swallows him up.
He didn't do too bad against Khalil Mack.
No.
But he did have some help, like you said, with Simonson. He did have some help.
Yeah, if you go back to that tape, you'll see he had a ton of help from Simonson. So, and again, I don't hate what do you call it at all. I just why did I just draw a blank there?
Wheeler. What's on about
Wheeler.
Yeah.
I just he's like he is what he is. You know what I mean? Like he's playing it over his head. He's athletic, but he's not an athlete. And they could use an upgrade there.
I think they're going to look to get somebody in the draft. I think second or third round could be a very good possibility for an offensive tackle. Maybe fourth round, maybe.
If you get a second round or third round offensive tackle, I would have to think right out of the gate that he's the favorite to win the job out of camp.
Yeah, you figure with pick 37 in the second round, if they don't make any trades, which I don't think they're going to do at this point, they may make trades up from the rear, but I don't think they're going to trade any of the top 4 picks they have. If you get somebody at 37, somebody that drops, I know Williams from Alabama won't drop. The other guy from Florida won't drop, Jawan Taylor, but Dillon could drop. You could get a Caleb McGarry or somebody like that there. You may have to just take him. because some of these guys can't miss. Some of these guys are turnkey solutions.
And in the day you and I did that kind of mock draft.
Yeah.
We mocked Evans. I think he's an Ohio kid.
He's from Oklahoma. Yeah, it's another guy that he could go anywhere between rounds 2 and 7. That guy, you don't know where.
Yeah.
So you have to watch what you do and see who's on the board. There's a whole bunch of other guys that are rated. Some people love them, some people don't like them. So it's hard to tell because when you're scouting offensive linemen, you go on YouTube or something, you only see the highlights. So you don't really get to look at game tape, where these guys break down.
No, they're not showing you getting toasted by somebody.
Yeah. Unless you look at, some defensive ends and some edge rushers highlights and see if they're on the other end of it.
Exactly, yeah. So, but yeah, there's enough offensive tackles between rounds 2 and 4, without a doubt.
They got to bring somebody in.
I don't even know who the backup right guard is. I mean, right tackle is.
Right now?
Yeah.
Let's check. Brian Mihalik and Victor Salico.
Yeah, neither one of those guys I think I've ever seen play.
And Nate Solder's backup is a kid by the name of Gillen Ware.
Yep.
So they do need to bring some people in here.
Yeah, because I don't know any of those guys.
These guys are all walk-ons. Free agents.
Well, they had Greco could play some in the interior stuff.
He's not around anymore. They haven't re-signed him.
I don't think they're going to give him an invite or anything.
We'll see. I think what they're trying to do is see how the draft goes, and then they'll look for a veteran. They've got to. All right, let's talk about the defense. I know you get excited about defense, so let's talk about defense.
Oh, man, am I excited about the defense.
Let's talk about the defensive line. Here's your 3 starters right now if we're going to play a game today. B.J. Hill, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Olsen Pierre.
Ugh. I love Hill. I'm lukewarm on Tomlinson. And Pierre, I got no love for.
Right. So
0.
Pierre is a rotational player. He's somebody to start the game with, but he's got to play 30% of the snaps.
Well, what's he going to do? Split time with Martin?
Well, whoever you're going to bring in, whatever alignment you're going to use. I mean, is he a true defensive, a 3-4 defensive lineman? He's not a bad player.
He's okay.
He's good if you pair him up with somebody else.
Maybe.
You can't have him out there the whole game. And they probably won't.
Again, he's a nice player. The Giants don't need nice players.
Yeah. Well, he's not a bad player, but you gotta get somebody better. So, in the draft, naturally, there's 10,000 defensive linemen.
Yep.
To choose from.
There's a ton of them in the first round.
Yeah. So I think they're going to be looking at one right there. Let's say, if Bosa's not going to drop. We'll get to the draft in a few minutes, but there's a lot of guys first 3 rounds that could easily come in and play for the Giants right now. Easily.
I agree. I mean, I'm a little narrow-minded, I guess, because I'm thinking, I don't want a round 3 defensive end, because that to me is a guy who's just going to do a job.
He's going to be a part-time player.
Yeah, I want a round 1 guy. I want a round 2 guy. Someone's going to go after it, and someone's going to go get it.
Yeah, you want one of those Clemson guys.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take one of those guys.
There's a ton of them. They all could go in the first round, too.
Yeah, agreed.
And they probably will.
And I'm fine. So, and I'm fine with. I think B.J. Hill is the best out of the lot.
Right.
And he's only going to get better.
But he was a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, but as a defensive tackle, he just happens to be playing DN in the 3-4.
Yeah, he's gonna end up playing left defensive end, and Tomlinson will be in the middle. And I don't really like him in there because he's a 4-3 defensive tackle, not a 3-4 defensive tackle. I think he struggled last year. I don't know what they're going to do about that. And Olsen Pierre, I don't really know much about. I tried to check him out on tape. There's a couple of highlights on him, but he's not a bad player. But again, we need a better guy.
Yeah, he's not a difference maker. He's a body.
Right. And the linebackers, I know you're not crazy about Kareem Martin.
Well, I mean, if you're holding my feet to the fire.
Well, he plays both, so we should,
Yeah, he can. I was just saying that he started off horrendous. I mean, he was.
He was the guy that was supposed to know the system, also.
Oh yeah, and I mean he was so bad. I mean, I'm not kidding, people. He was that bad when he started the year off. I'll say the last quarter of the season, he had a pretty good showing. He just happens to get.
Plays, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's got a long wingspan. He's very flat-footed at this stage of his career. He's not on the balls of his feet. He can't change direction, very well. If he misses a sack, he doesn't come down the line of scrimmage to make a play. I mean, if the play's right in front of him, he'll make it. So you can't expect a whole lot from him. So I don't know who's going to play the other side. I guess it's.
Well, let's go through it.
Yep.
You got in the middle. You got Ogletree and Goodson. Yeah. Take it for what it's worth. I know you're not excited about either one.
Well, I like Ogletree. He didn't have a great year against the run. Had a very nice year against the pass.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was his first year as a Giant, so I want to give him another year. He looked maybe a little undersized this year, and he over pursued a lot. I mean, your middle linebacker should have at least 90 to 100 tackles, and I think he had way below that.
Yeah, he missed some time too.
And he missed some time, so but he's a leader, and I do like Ogletree. I mean, Goodson's a little bit. He's an anomaly. I can't quite figure it out. Like
one game, he can't stay healthy. First of all,
no, yeah, he seems to be made of glass. And then, if you want to talk about hot and cold, he got 13 tackles one game and then won the next game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I think they'll be looking for a guy to take him out, too.
Yeah, with the initials of DW.
Oh, if they ever do that, forget about it. We'll talk about that when we get to Michael's mock draft.
Yep.
All right, weak side linebacker. They have Carter in there, Lorenzo Carter. Being backed up by Marcus Golden. Now, I would think there'd be more. One of them should be over on the other side, but if they're both going to split that position, I don't know what to think of that. I think one of them should be on the field a lot more.
Yeah, just to say it how it is. That's a dumb mistake because Zoe Carter should be getting, 60 snaps a game. The guy can play. Every time that guy was in the game, he made a play. No reason why he's not starting full-time, 3-down linebacker. Keep him on the field and see what he can do. And then, like you said, move what's his name to the other side.
Yeah, why can't they both be on the field?
I don't know.
Golden's a good player. I mean, in this system, he's going to be really good. He had 12 and a half sacks when he played under Betcher. Then he got hurt. Then, of course, Wilkes came in and went to a 4-3. That's not his deal. He's more of a stand-up guy.
Yep.
So that's what they'll have him doing here. And, hey, you know what? Maybe they will put them both on the field. This is just a mock-up of a depth chart. Nobody's hit the field yet. So I think this is a guess of what they're going to do right now. Defensive backs. Corners, you have Janoris Jenkins, the Jackrabbit.
Yep.
And Sam Beal, who nobody's ever seen play, so we can't really make any kind of a judgment on.
Man, and they're painting him into this corner because he better be, he just better be the guy.
There's a lot of pressure on him.
And if he's not the guy, they better draft a cornerback in the third round.
I think they will be drafting a corner or two. And, of course, after the draft, you have the UDFA, the undrafted free agent period. They're going to get 10 more guys.
Yeah. None of those guys are all the same guys that we're stuck with now.
Yeah, but a lot of those guys play in this league. They don't. Some
Oh
of them are
yeah.
stars too.
Actually, it seems those guys are very well equipped to play the slot.
Yeah. Well, we have a slot corner, Grant Haley. Now he was a UDFA last year.
Yep. I like Haley. Haley should probably keep that job as long as he's healthy.
Yeah. There's nobody else listed behind him as the third defensive back. So, the safeties, they brought in 2 safeties. Bethea led the Cardinals in tackles. He's going to be 34 years old, this guy.
Oh, boy.
He's been in the Pro Bowl a couple of times. He's a pro, this guy.
I think they're bringing in extra wheelchairs for him.
Well, you'll be surprised how spry people could be at 34.
Well, he better be. he damn better be.
He's not a bad player at all.
No, I know he's a good player. I'm just saying that the
he's
odds
just
of him,
a placeholder. He's got a 2-year deal, man. That's it. That's it for him.
I got you. Just because at 35, the percentage of you making through 16 games is not high.
No. But he's been reliable. He plays every week. Makes a lot of plays.
He seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that they're looking for. A guy who shows up and plays. Unlike a lot of the other guys they have who don't show up and don't play.
Yeah.
All
true.
And, of course, Jabril Peppers, the biggest question mark, I think, on this team right now is Peppers. He's going to be wearing Collins' number, too, 21.
Yeah, that's not cool either.
I don't know why they gave it to him. I wouldn't have given it to him. But talk about pressure.
Well, you know what? Even if they give it to you, you could say, hey, is there another number you have in there?
Well, people who don't know that Collins was traded are going to say, look how fast Collins got.
If anyone says that, they should be escorted out of the stadium.
Completely different, completely opposite player of Landon Collins.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, Peppers, he can play. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that he had 2 phenomenal All-Pro years in Cleveland.
I thought he was a disappointment because I watch a lot of Michigan games, and he was great at Michigan. I mean, he could do anything. He could play offense if they wanted to. He could run back kicks, which he's going to do with the Giants, and he could play defense. The guy was all over the field.
Yep.
With Cleveland, he was all over the field, but he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, it could have been a system thing, but for me, I'm used to a strong safety with 100+ tackles a year, and I think he averages about.
Well, he's going to be a free safety.
Oh, you think they're going to put?
Bethea will be the strong.
The strong, okay.
Yeah, that's what I think. And we both know there's about 10 safeties in this draft I absolutely love.
Oh yeah,
I mean love.
Yep.
That I'm thinking about using the first 5 picks on them. And just lining them all up in the box.
Yeah, there is some good safeties, no doubt.
Kicking Goodson and Martin off the field and just putting safeties out there.
Listen.
Putting, Marvell Tell and Marquise Blair and Jaquan Johnson out there.
Yeah, listen, right now, the way the Giants play defense, it couldn't hurt them.
At least those guys tackle.
Agreed.
That's the best part about Collins. At least he tackled people before they got too far downfield. That was the key. That's what he did best.
We're going to all be glued in to see the first tight end who gets his 100 yards on the Giants. And then everyone's going to go nuts. If they don't shut down every tight end, they're going to stick it right up Gettleman's butt. If
that's true.
If they don't shut down, a 90-year-old Witten or Ertz, like it's literally going to be that cut and dry with the fans.
Jordan Reed's my favorite. When he's healthy, nobody covers him. The Giants just stand around watching each other.
From the Redskins?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just it's sad for him. The dude, I don't think has ever made it through a full season, but
even if he's not healthy, he always beats the Giants.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, all tight ends beat the Giants, but they're literally gonna be, that's gonna be like a benchmark, like, okay, you gave me two safeties. Can they cover these tight ends? Because we all know that, Ertz and Kittle and what's the other Cowboys tight end, the young guy. I'm drawing a
I
blank.
forget his name. He only had a couple of good games anyway.
So like, you're gonna play against good tight ends. So these guys better shut them down, or it's gonna backfire on Gettleman in the press.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to your man's mock draft. Are you ready for that?
Yeah. Usually you're on board with
there was a lot of variables here that I didn't really understand, but let's go through them.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. Anybody, if you're listening to the Giants guys, that's me and John here, and we're gonna go through one of my senior writers, Michael Stewart. He's huge into free agency. He's huge into the draft. He never lets me down on cranking out good stuff. And he put a mock draft out there, and John is taking umbrage with it.
Well, I have a lot of questions about it. I wouldn't do it this way. I mean, at number 6 in the first round, he's picking Devin White, which if White is there, I would definitely do that.
100%.
But if it was down to Quinnen Williams and White, because something crazy like that, or Josh Allen and White, I couldn't do it. I couldn't take him.
Yeah, he has the alternate pick as Gary.
Rashawn Gary at 6. A lot of people love Gary. I saw him at the Combine. The guy is just tremendous. He's just a tremendous athlete.
Yep, I think he's a Jersey guy.
He is. Now, the problem with him is he's good at every position. He's not great at one. He's not great at the edge. He's not great in the middle. He's very good. He can play them all, which is good. It's nice to have, which means he'll probably stay on the field most of the game, which is what you need when you have a guy who drafted with the number 6 pick.
Yep.
My contention is with your first round pick, and you're drafting high. If you're drafting at the end of the round, like I say, after 15, maybe not. They have to play 80% of the snaps. Now, Gary could do that, which is one reason why I would take him. That's why I would take White. So I like these 2 picks. But the problem with Gary is don't beat him up if he's not as good as you think he's going to be.
So would you?
He's going to be good. He's going to be an upgrade from whoever you have out there.
I think if White,
but he's not going to be great.
If White wasn't there, I probably would have went Oliver.
See, that's a guy that people are really high on. They don't want to say it though. He's small. Yeah, well, you know what? I've watched his tape. The guys he's playing against are bigger than him. He's pushing them to the ground. They're supposed to be pancaking him. He's pancaking them. And he's running past them.
They're saying he could play linebacker too.
Well, he said at his pro day, when Kim Jones interviewed him, that he was asked by certain teams if he would object to play linebacker. He said no. He said, I'll play wherever you need me. I mean, he hadn't really done it that I saw, but he probably can do it. He could drop in coverage or whatever. He's not that. He weighs about 285. He's like Aaron Donald. They're comparing him to Aaron Donald, but I don't think he's as strong as Donald.
Okay.
I think he's faster, though. So, we'll see. Whoever takes him is going to, be pleasantly surprised. They're not going to be disappointed. I'll put it to you that way.
Now I'm looking at, Michael's mock draft here, and he looks like he's trading away 17 to the Colts.
Yeah, this is something I didn't understand, but like we said before, when you trade back, you save money. If you think your draft board is flattening out, you save money. So it's not a bad idea if you don't like the guy in front of you or the guys in front of you more than you like the guys down the line. So make the trade. So let's see what the trade is. He's trading number 17 to the Colts and a 4th round pick, which would be number 132, for the Colts' 1st round pick, which is number 26, and their 2nd round pick, number 59, and that's it. So he's getting a late 1st round pick an early second-round pick, or mid-second-round pick, rather, for a 4th pick and the 17th pick. It works out on the trade chart to be advantageous to the Giants. They have like a what do you call it? Like a trade. You grade the trades, with the picks you're sending to the other team, vice versa. You match them up. So the Giants picks were worth 990 points. The Colts pick were worth 1,010 points. So to me, I don't know. You could do it either way. It's fine. But the guy he's picking at 26, Brian Burns, is not going to be there.
Agree. Well, that I agree with.
He may go in the top 10.
Burns might have been there at 17 if the Giants didn't make the trade.
I don't think he's going to be there at 17 either.
But he's not going to be. Well, he's definitely not going to be there at 26.
No, so you can strike him from the ledger. The other pick he has is Andre Dillard. We talked about him, Washington State offensive tackle. He might be there. He might.
I could see him being there at 26, not 17.
Yeah, he might be there. Again, I don't think he's going to be. I think what you're looking at the end of this round, you're probably looking at wide receivers or whatever. That's what's going to happen. Like I said, it all depends on teams trading back, trading up, what their priorities are. You don't know. It doesn't really line up with the actual boards that people write up. Like the 26th pick is not Brian Burns. It's not Dillard, but because he'll be gone. I don't know who it's going to be. I think it'll be somebody else. It'll probably be like a wide receiver from some other school. So that's just my opinion. Now, in round 2 with number 37, he's trading this away to Arizona for Josh Rosen.
Yep.
Which I don't think is going to happen at this point.
Really?
I don't think it's going to happen at all. I don't think that Arizona is going to trade him. Period. Because they're not going to get a number 1 pick for him, and that's what they want.
Yeah. They're definitely not getting a number 1.
And it costs them nothing to keep him. He makes no money. He's already been paid out.
I feel bad because if he doesn't get traded, he's basically, riding out another 3 years on the bench.
No, he gets traded during the season or next year. They just want to see if Murray's going to work out.
Yeah. If
Murray works out, comes in and plays well, he's gone. Well, maybe after the season. Teams will still, but, the thing is that once the season starts, the price goes down, and you have all those quarterbacks coming into the draft next year. So his price is going to go down. But like I said, they don't lose anything by keeping him because he's an insurance policy. So that one I didn't like too much. Okay, so in the round 2, they got the pick from Indianapolis.
Yep.
Here's where they take Caleb Gary from Washington.
Which
offensive
I like.
Tackle. That's a great pick. Offensive tackle. You cannot knock an offensive tackle as a pick, no matter where you take him.
And by the way, this kid's nasty.
Yeah, it says he's 6'7", 320. I don't think he's that big, but I don't think he's 6'7".
He's a mean dude.
Yeah, I like him. I would definitely take. That's probably one of the picks. One of the guys I would pick here. I like him a lot. I think he may even go in the first round. See, this is another guy that could go in the first round.
Yep.
It all depends on what teams like. They have their pro days, have their top 30s. All of a sudden, a team sees this guy up close. They're like, oh, we got to have this guy. And then somebody else will fall to you, But his alternate pick here is Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Why not?
I come from the school of you come into the league with a knee injury, I don't want you. You already got problems.
That's the least of his problems because he's on tape beating a woman. And we don't know if he goes on the commissioner's list or not once he comes into the league.
Got it.
I mean, he has done nothing at Mississippi State. I believe this was before he went to college. It was some kind of family outing. There was a fight with some women in his family, and he beat up the other woman. Had her on the ground. He was punching her in the face. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. It's really disturbing.
No one's going to touch him.
So I could see him falling out of the first round. He's probably one of the top 5 players in this draft.
If he didn't have a knee injury too,
And now he's got the ACL.
Yeah, because I mean that's a 10-month injury. It's like, the Giants can't afford to draft guys to put them on a shelf.
Yeah, I think he's going to play this year, though.
You do? You think?
I don't know. I don't know. From what I read, he was supposed to participate in his pro day. So I don't think that's going to be much of an issue. The ACL.
Okay.
That's the other thing. The problem is that he comes into the league. Does the commissioner put him on the list? Does he even get suspended for that? Can they do that? I don't know if they can do it, but
no, because it's not on their watch. Happened before he was property of the NFL.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Because I think that you have to be an NFL employee, while it happened as a player. What he did in college, I don't know if they can legally do that.
But they can put him on the list. So, he's already give him one strike.
Yeah, you could probation the guy.
Yeah, so I could see him falling into the second round. That's a steal. But I don't want to wait for him to play if he can't play this year. I think he'll be able to play this year. He goes on PUP, and maybe you get him halfway through the season. I don't know. My guess. But if you do get him, you have a force in the middle of your defense.
See, for me, I'm going cornerback there.
Round 2?
Yeah, round 2, late round 2. I'm going with that kid from Penn State. A Warmy.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't think because I don't think the kid's gonna last to the 3rd round.
Okay. No, you could do whatever you want there. That's fine. I mean, to me, I don't see them taking Simmons, period.
Yep, I agree.
So it could be whoever you want. It doesn't matter to me. I don't even know who's going to be there at this point.
Because if you look, 3rd round, pick 95, he went Jamal Dean from Auburn.
Right.
I mean, big kid, fast.
Very fast.
I just...
Great athlete.
I don't know if he's there. You know what I mean? Like, just, it's...
Well, I saw mock drafts where Dean is in the 6th round.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know how, but...
I mean, at 4:30, usually guys grab those guys fast.
And at 6'2", 208, he's running a 4.340.
Yep.
Playing at Auburn, he's in a good league. He was a good performer. I see him as a 3rd round pick. I have no problem with that pick. I like him. I mean, I did some scouting on him. I think he's a tremendous pick there. He should be climbing up the boards. See, people are looking at more of the prospects now as the draft gets closer, and they're saying, well, why isn't this guy being touted? Why isn't there's a couple of wide receivers. I wrote that article today for USA Today. Why aren't these guys being looked at? There's a wide receiver. Well, we'll get to him next. As a matter of fact, Michael hasn't been picked here. I don't have a problem with that. But the alternate pick here in the 3rd round is Jermaine Pratt, North Carolina State. I like him. I didn't like him in the beginning because he was a converted safety, and he's in the box. He's like a box safety playing linebacker, but we'll see. We'll see.
It's a little high for me. For me.
Yeah, I don't like him in the 3rd round either.
I just, I'm still like all about the pass rush. I want to get as many true edge rushers as possible. Yeah, but who would Jermaine Pratt be taking? Whose place would be taking? Collins or Goodson? Yeah, well, you had to be. Well, in reality, it's got to be Goodson because Collins is gone, and
right.
you're not gonna replace him with what's his name.
But Collins functioned as a linebacker. Let's say he didn't get off the line of scrimmage too far from the line of scrimmage. So
yeah, but they didn't. But remember though, they didn't take a linebacker off the field.
No.
So in that case,
they should have, but they didn't.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm just saying from a philosophy standpoint, it's Goodson who we would replace because think about it, Goodson and Collins were in the game at the same time. Now you've basically swapped, what's his name from Arizona? The guy
Martin?
the guy they brought in for safety.
Oh, Bethea.
So Bethea and Peppers will be on the field for 4 downs, right?
Yes, with any luck.
If you draft, what's his name? He would be in contention with either like Martin or Carter,
right?
Or Golden on the outside. Like I don't see why you would need another outside linebacker. I need a 3-4 defensive end that, like, as much as I love BJ Hill.
That's why I brought it up. I said, whose spot is he going to take? I mean, is he going to? He can't be an outside linebacker because he's got to be. He can't just. It's not a traditional 4-3. If he's a traditional 4-3 linebacker, that's great. I would take him for depth, but I don't think he's going to play.
No, give me a DN there.
All right, so let's move on. He has another trade here. The Giants trade with Seattle. They're trading their 4th round pick and 5th round pick in return for the Giants' 5th round picks and 6th round pick. So they're moving up in the 4th and 5th round and giving up their 6th round pick and both 7th round picks. This trade makes no sense to me.
I agree.
It's just too much movement. Seattle only has a couple of picks. So it says right here, Gettleman still has a bunch of picks on day 3, packages them to move back to the 4th and 5th rounds, but the Seahawks only have 4 picks left in the draft. Okay. So in round 4, pick 108, they take a wide receiver, Little Jordan Humphrey, who's anything but little. 6'5", 220. If you look at his workouts, you're like, this guy is never going to be in the NFL. He ran like a 4.8 40. He has a terrible vertical. He just doesn't look like, he looks like somebody who shouldn't be playing football. He actually looks the part, but when he's running in drills, you're like, who's training this guy? Nobody. Then you look at his tape, nobody can cover the guy. Mystery. He's
really?
He wrestles the ball off defensive backs. He's a great route runner. He has great hands. He gets into the end zone. He plows his way in. He's running past people. I don't know. Maybe they just figured they didn't have to cover him. I don't know. But, I watched enough for me to see that this guy is just one of those guys that just light goes on when the ball snapped. And he's a different player. And he's another guy whose workouts are pushing him way down in the draft. And he probably should be way up in the draft.
Interesting. I've never seen him play.
Watch him. Little Jordan Humphrey. People can't get over the name, too. Sometimes the names, when you have some of these names that you laugh at, Little Jordan, come on. You don't take them seriously.
Yeah.
So you're like, forget that guy. And then there's other names you can't pronounce. You're like, forget that guy. But, the Giants had guys with names you couldn't pronounce, and they turned out to be pretty good.
Like O.C.U. Minora?
Correct. It's correct. So his alternate pick here is Khalil Hodge, an inside linebacker from Buffalo. I'm going to just say no to that right now.
I don't even know
I'm
why
not
I'm
going to talk about it. I don't think the guy even gets drafted.
I don't even know why you draft a guy out of Buffalo. There's a ton of other players.
Buffalo's a big program now, but and Khalil Mack came from there. But the thing is that this particular player, to me, in everything I've seen from him, he's just not that highly rated where he goes round 4. So he's off my board. And then Kalen Saunders, another round 4 pick, Western Illinois. Of course, nobody watches Western Illinois play, so we really don't know. I have no opinion of this. 6'1", 325. I'm going to take Michael's word for it that this guy is decent. I've never seen anything on him. The alternate pick, Michael Jordan. Okay, I guess he's coming out of retirement. Offensive lineman from Ohio State, 6'7", 315.
That's a big boy.
Him I do know. Good place to take him. I'll take him.
Okay.
You know, he can play tackle and guard. I think he's 6'7", so he's got tackle size, but he's going to play. I think he's going to play guard in this league. Round 5, Michael Dieter, Wisconsin, 6'6", 320. Can play all along the line.
Yep.
And this is a guy that I liked. I don't think he's going to be there around 5.
Oh, okay.
Jazz Ferguson is Jalen Ferguson's brother.
That's right.
Okay, and he's almost as big as him. 6'5", 228, but, you know, Northwestern Louisiana, I believe is the school he went to. I was watching a little bit of his tape this morning. He's fast, very athletic. Problem is, he's not playing against anybody.
I was just saying, Northwestern, too, is a extremely highly competitive academic school. So he must be smart.
Northwestern Louisiana.
Oh, got it.
Okay, so he's playing in, you know, very small school. Competition is not that good. I don't think he has a high football acumen. He hasn't really played against anybody. He's got the tools to be an NFL receiver, and I put that in my article today. He's one of the guys at 6'5". I don't even know if he gets drafted, to tell you the truth, because there's so much you don't know about him. He looked good in combine. You know, he looks good. The problem is you know, the game experience, as we always say. Little Jordan Humphrey is playing against top competition at Texas, right? And he doesn't have the physical skills that this guy does. And this guy has the physical skills, and he's not playing against anybody. So it's hard to gauge. I don't know. Go back and look at Jazz Ferguson's tape and let me know what you think.
Okay.
It's you can't tell. You know, it's like a man playing against boys. You know, and sometimes he struggled too. So
I don't like this 5th round pick, the Tommy Sweeney.
Yeah, he's far from the best tight end in this draft.
Well,
but he's the kind of guy the Giants would take.
Yeah, from that standpoint, yeah, because the great tight ends, you know, with the Iowa guys and the Ole Miss guy and the
anybody from Stanford.
Stanford, yeah, those guys are going in rounds 2, rounds 3. I don't like them because well, I should say, let me rephrase that. I think, you know, he would fit in, but he's a duplication of Simonson, and Red Ellison is Schumer's boy. So if anything, Schumer will just have, and Gettleman will just have Ellison restructure. But I don't think they're getting rid of him. They love Ellison. You know, that's why. Yeah,
you're right. I'm not drafting a tight end in this draft.
Yeah, you know, unless it's Hawkinson.
Right. That's the key. It's got to be somebody really good. I'm not going to waste a 5th round pick on this.
So, yeah, I don't like that one. And again, I don't know anything about Isaiah Thomas from Houston, but he's big.
Yeah, no, he's a good corner. He's one of the top guys. He's not going to probably be there at round 5, but, you know. Again, you know, this is all nice to haves, but I don't see him being there in the 5th round.
See, to me, it's all I want is defense the first half of the draft. My first, second round picks are all defense. And then I'm going to do a spark of offensive tackles and corners and wide receivers. And then I'm going to come back for some corners. I just want to fill up the as you would say, I want to fill up the room.
I agree. I think that's a tremendous thing to do. I really do. So,
you know, because you're never going to stop the bleeding unless you bring in enough defensive bodies. You know, if you grab a quarterback and a wide receiver, you know, in this draft, or 2 wide receivers, you're never going to play with a lead. You're constantly like, and everyone says, well, what's one guy going to do? I'm like, it's not one guy. You know, like you put in 3 defensive players in the first 2 rounds. I mean, there instant starters. The bleeding stops. But right now, you're just bleeding out from a run stopping ability, from a passing standpoint, and of course, not being able to hit the quarterback.
Right.
So, for me, I don't almost care what they do after round 3. The first 2 picks in the first round, pick the second round pick, and maybe the first, third round pick, to me, is all defense. And then they can do whatever they want after that.
Well, here's the thing. You want to put the other quarterback on the ground, and you want to keep yours from being put on the ground.
Yep.
So always think about it that way.
Hey, if there's a
Very simple.
if there's a great offensive tackle there with the first pick in the third round, I'm taking him.
Yeah.
But if I remotely don't like him, I'm looking for another pass rusher.
Yeah. And we just went through the roster. Now, where are they going to put these pass rushers? Let's say you draft Montez Sweat. Where does he play? Does he play on the line, or does he play where Carter is supposed to play? Or does he play where Martin is supposed to play?
So you draft Sweat, he becomes the starter, and Hill flips sides and rotates with.
Does he play with his hand in the dirt? That's my question.
Yes, 100%.
So he's going to play defensive end in the 3-4.
I just don't know how much snaps he has standing up, if any.
Okay. I'm just picking him out of the bunch. You could also put
like,
Gary in there, replace it with Gary. You could put Burns in there. Whoever you take, are they playing defensive end or are they playing outside linebacker?
Playing defensive end, and you're moving Hill to the other side, and you're going to rotate with Golden. Not Golden, Pierre.
Okay, that's a problem that I have.
Okay.
When it comes to a guy you're drafting with the 6th pick. What did I say about 80% of the snaps? You can't take a rotational player there. See, he's got to play all the time. He's got to be out on the field. It's got to be like Strahan was, every play. JPP, every play.
That was a 4-3, so...
Yeah, but still, he's got to be somebody that plays every play. Otherwise, you take him in the second round.
Okay, if that's the case, so for me, to me, I would rotate. See, I look at it like Hill can play inside or out, right? So Hill stays on the field. He rushes inside, he rushes outside. And then Tomlinson's the one that gets taken off the field. And if you have a guy like Burns or Sweat, they stay on the field. They just from one of the two outside positions.
Okay.
And then if Hill goes to the inside, Burns or Sweat has his hand in the dirt. If Hill goes to the outside, then you have to stand up Burns or Sweat. I don't know if they can do it, but the guy that's out in the rotation.
No, Burns could do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's his deal.
Okay, because the guy who comes off the field is going to be Tomlinson.
Okay.
I think Hill and Sweat, Hill and Oliver, Hill and Burns have to be on the field for 3 downs, possibly 4.
Like I said, we drafted somebody that high. They can't just be a piece. They have to be an anchor.
Yeah, there would be, in my eyes, regardless if you were running the 3-4 or the a 4-3 hybrid, that Hill and Sweat or Hill and Burns, Hill and Oliver don't come off the field.
Okay.
And everyone else rotates. Tomlinson, Golden.
I'm sure they'll figure them out once they get them all there.
Yeah,
they'd have to figure it out because you just can't have these guys. Like Gettleman says, I don't mind drafting over people, which is fine. But the thing is that in this particular draft, that high, you don't want a rotational player or a part-time player.
No. I mean, I think they're handicapped because I don't like the defense. If you have 4 stud linebackers, it's fine, but you don't. So, I'm not a big fan of the 3-4. I mean, when we ran the 3-4 in the 80s, it was fine because you had Banks and you had LT and you had Reasons and you had Peppers and Pepper Johnson. I mean, you had really good linebackers. Like, we don't have great linebackers. So even if you have you need guys that can rush the passer and can cover in space. So if they're running a traditional 3-4, you're still at some point somebody's the weak link, whether it's Goodson or Golden, and I think Golden's a good player. Someone's not going to be dynamic enough. So I'm not a big fan of the 3-4 when you have two linebackers that are average at best. So, they're going to have to figure it out. I mean, one way or another, if they're running more 4-3, but on that defense, the three guys that need to be on the field the whole time, and not necessarily in this order, are Hill, whoever they draft, Burns, Sweat, Oliver, Gary, and Zoe Carter. Those are the three guys for me that can't come off the field.
Okay, that's fine. I mean,
I don't know how you do it.
You just have to figure it out. I mean, everyone's saying draft this guy, draft that guy. Like, okay, where are they going to play? Unless you're kicking somebody else out of their job.
Yeah, Oliver and Burns can do it. I don't know if Sweat can do it, but I know the fact that Oliver and D. White and Burns can do it. If you draft a traditional 4-3 defensive end, yeah, you're going to be kind of handicapped in a way to keep them on the field.
Good. Okay, well, I think we went over again, time-wise. But
it happens. It's the Giants, guys. That's what we do.
Yeah, we just get caught up talking, and there's just too many things to talk about. We didn't even cover half of the things that I wanted to cover, so we're going to have another show soon. Saturday, I'm going to be doing a show with, just to let you know, with Andy of Ultimate NYG and his draft guy, who he calls Wonder. They've been after me to put them on, so I'm going to put them on. They're going to give us their, what do you call it? You're welcome to join. I think he wants to come on Saturday afternoon.
That's a lot of guys in the room. You know what? I will.
You will defer?
I will defer my seat, my co-host seat, to those gentlemen, because I'm sure I'm just going to, be a thorn in their side. So I will.
Well, basically, it's their show. They just want to come on and state their case because they have their own board and they've been doing the Giants stuff for years with Ultimate NYG on and off, and this is their big thing, the draft. So.
All right, yeah, like
see what they have to say.
Yeah, I have no problem deferring my seat for the day.
Yeah, I'm really not going to say much. They're going to basically talk to me and tell me because they have very strong opinions.
That's why it's better I'm not there.
Yeah, I have some strong opinions too, but I'm malleable.
You'll play nice in the sandbox.
Yeah, I mean, I could go either way with some of these players, like I said. I just don't want them to draft a quarterback with the 6th pick.
Well, if I was there and they draft a quarterback with the 6th pick, I'd probably unplug them.
Yeah.
Because I just can't hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it. And I don't want to hear it at 17, by the way. Like, not to keep going on and on, but, like, Jones is not the guy.
Yeah. I don't think these guys will be going Daniel Jones route. But.
Man, I tell you, Jones has never thrown over 3,000 yards in his career. A season. I mean, come on. I mean, you can't throw for 3,000 yards? I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah.
Here's my opinion of Jones. He played at Duke, and he's the 6th greatest quarterback to come out of Duke.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
I don't know, but why are you taking him in the first round of the draft? If he was a basketball player, I'd take him right away.
Exactly.
Zion Williamson, he's not.
If I needed a point guard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you, man. Like it's everybody doesn't, half the fan base is with me, half the fan base isn't. I'm pretty strong on my opinions on stopping the bleeding and getting me 2 dynamic defensive players. I mean, if they go and draft Locke or one of these guys, I can't see it. I can't figure it out, which also leads to Eli potentially being a bridge quarterback for next year or bringing in a one-year guy, like they did Kurt Warner for Eli. Yeah. It's story for another day. Have fun with those guys. And, You're listening to the Giants guys, and thanks for listening to the podcast. Share it and download it. iTunes, Spotify,
Yep.
all those great places. You can find me at nygiantsrush.com. As John just alluded to, we got some great content up there you guys can check out, and you can always get me on Twitter at nygiantsrush.
All right, until next time, this is the Giants guys, and thanks for listening.